Nicole Kidman details overcoming feeling broken amid her split from Keith Urban. Less than 2 weeks after filing for divorce from Keith Urban following 19 years of marriage, the actress details why her favorite aspect of growing older has been learning how to handle whatever life throws at her. Nicole tells Harper's Bazaar in an interview published on October 9th, "The best part is the experiences that you've accumulated. You go, oh, I've been here before. I actually know how to handle this now. Or maybe I haven't been in this place, but I've experienced something similar to this, and I do know that I will get through it." The Practical Magic actress adds, "There's something to knowing that no matter how painful or how difficult or how devastating something is, there is a way through."
Picture this: Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban, Hollywood's golden couple, standing shoulder to shoulder on the red carpet, smiling as if everything is perfect. Yet behind those flawless smiles, 19 years of love were slowly unraveling. He's the country music icon who once sang about forever, and she's the Oscar-winning actress who believed in it. But somewhere between world tours, red carpets, and quiet rumors of separation, their fairy tale began to fade. When Keith called their marriage a job, fans knew something wasn't right. This wasn't just another celebrity breakup. It was the quiet collapse of a love story the world had rooted for. So buckle up, hit that subscribe button, and stay tuned, because the truth behind Nicole and Keith's split runs deeper than anyone imagined. It all started back in 2005 at the G-Day USA Gala, that glittering night where Hollywood meets Australia, a place where stars mingle, pose, and pretend not to fall in love. But for Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban, something genuine sparked that evening. She was an Academy Award-winning actress still healing from a public divorce, and he was the charming country singer with a humble soul, soft accent, and a hint of rebellion. They met, they smiled, they talked, and everyone around them felt the connection. But then came silence. Keith didn't call for days or weeks, 4 entire months passed. Nicole later admitted she thought he simply wasn't interested. Little did she know, he was afraid of ruining something that felt too perfect. When he finally built up the courage to call her, everything changed. By 2006, they were inseparable. Keith was flying to her film sets, Nicole was cheering at his concerts, and the paparazzi couldn't get enough. That June, under a sky glowing with candlelight and whispers, they were married in Sydney. It wasn't a Hollywood spectacle, it was intimate, emotional, and deeply romantic. Nicole wore lace. Keith cried as he held her hand, as if he never wanted to let go. Fans around the world called them the real-life country fairy tale, the Nashville cowboy, and the Australian movie star who found home in each other. For years, everything looked flawless. Every red carpet walk hand in hand, every award show filled with tender glances. In interviews, Keith would blush and say, "I'm madly in love," while Nicole called him "my everything." Their love seemed to make even cynics believe that Hollywood romance could last. But what no one realized was that this picture-perfect love story would soon begin to crack. Quietly, painfully, and right in front of the cameras. Just 4 months after their breathtaking Sydney wedding, the honeymoon glow started to dim. Nicole, still radiant as a newlywed, began noticing something was wrong. Keith, the passionate musician who had swept her off her feet, seemed distant and distracted. Then the truth surfaced. He was battling substance abuse. This wasn't tabloid gossip or exaggerated headlines. It was real, and Nicole was blindsided. She had finally found her happily ever after, only to learn the man she loved was silently fighting his own demons. Most people would have walked away, but not Nicole. Determined to save him and their marriage, she organized an intervention just months after saying, "I do." Surrounded by close friends and family, no cameras, no PR teams, just raw emotion, she begged him to get help. To his credit, Keith listened. He entered rehab and began the grueling road to recovery. For 3 long months, they were apart. No statements, no interviews, just silence and healing. While headlines screamed "trouble in paradise," few understood the strength it took to hold that love together. Nicole later said she only wanted him healthy. Not famous, not perfect, just alive. When Keith finally left rehab, he faced the cameras and said something that broke everyone's hearts. It was the hardest but best thing that had ever happened to him. That moment forced their relationship to evolve, from a red carpet romance into something real, raw, and resilient. They emerged stronger, but forever changed. Their love had survived its first storm, and for a while, it seemed unbreakable. The couple who nearly lost everything now held on tighter than ever. Or so it seemed. Because even though they won that first battle, the war for their marriage was far from over. After the chaos came calm, and after heartbreak came healing. By 2008, their love story found new meaning with the birth of their first daughter, Sunday Rose. Nicole called her a gift, a miracle after years of longing to be a mother again. Keith was there every step of the way, not just as a loving husband, but as a devoted father who would fly halfway across the world just to hear their baby's heartbeat. When Sunday was born, their world softened. Fame and pressure took a backseat to family. 2 years later, in 2010, their hearts grew again with the arrival of Faith Margaret, born by a surrogate. Nicole said she felt blessed beyond measure, and Keith claimed fatherhood made him a better man. They settled in Nashville, away from Hollywood's glare, where their daughters could grow up with muddy boots, music, and love. Their interviews became about bedtime stories instead of premieres. Their smiles seemed genuine again. To the world, it looked like they had conquered addiction, distance, and doubt, finally living their happily ever after. But life, as always, had another twist. In 2014, tragedy struck when Nicole's father, Dr. Anthony Kidman, passed away unexpectedly. His loss hit her hard. He had been her rock, her constant support, and once again, Keith was there to catch the pieces. When tragedy struck, Keith dropped everything, his tour, his commitments, and flew straight to Sydney to be with her. At the funeral, he stood before the mourners, guitar in hand, and performed Amazing Grace. No spotlight, no applause, just a husband shattered by grief, trying to comfort his wife the only way he knew how. His voice trembled, his eyes filled with tears, and when he looked at Nicole, it wasn't as a star or performer, it was as a man loving his wife through heartbreak. The world saw those images, the emotion, the quiet strength, and it touched millions. People said, that's what real love looks like. For years afterward, they remained the standard, the Hollywood couple that had made it. Red carpets, anniversaries, heartfelt interviews where they couldn't stop praising each other. Keith once called her his safe place. Nicole called him her soulmate. They seemed untouchable, as if love had truly conquered the odds. Every photo told the same story: laughter, devotion, family. From the outside, it looked perfect, as though their happy ending had finally arrived. But sometimes, even the most beautiful love stories don't end with a dramatic explosion. They fade quietly behind closed doors when the cameras stop flashing and the smiles no longer reach the eyes. For nearly a decade, Nicole and Keith were Hollywood's proof that love could last, until the cracks began to show again. By 2024, those cracks were getting harder to hide. The red carpet appearances dwindled, the cozy interviews disappeared, and soon Nicole and Keith were living two completely different lives. She was filming non-stop across Europe, while he was touring solo, jumping from city to city with no mention of home. Fans noticed the change. Fewer photos, fewer date nights, and when they did share something online, it felt staged, distant, almost forced. Then came the whispers. Keith had reportedly gotten a separate place in Nashville, not far from their family home. Some claimed it was just for work. Others said it was where he stayed when things grew tense. Either way, something had shifted. Then, during an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Nicole quietly said, "You think you know where your life is going, and then it isn't." No denial, no drama, just raw honesty. Fans heard that and froze, because it didn't sound like an actress promoting a film. It sounded like a woman trying to accept an ending she never anticipated. And then came the interviews that said what words couldn't. On the Amanda Keller show, when asked if fate brought them together, Keith hesitated, long enough for everyone to feel the silence, before muttering, "No idea." He fidgeted, changed the topic, and the internet erupted. Gone was the man who once declared, "I'm madly in love." Next came Ryan Seacrest. When asked how he kept the marriage strong after all these years, Keith smiled, but not the same warm smile, and replied, "It's a job." Just 3 words, but they landed like a confession. Fans replayed the clip endlessly. The tone was flat, the spark gone. As one headline from People magazine put it, Keith Urban didn't say the marriage was over, but he didn't have to. The glow, the chemistry, the fairy tale, it had all quietly faded, leaving behind 2 people who once fought for love, now struggling to let it go. And then came the silence. No statements, no explanations, just nothing. For 2 people who once couldn't stop talking about their love, the quiet said everything. Their last public photo together was from early September, smiling, composed, but with a stiffness fans couldn't ignore. Since then, they've gone their separate ways. When Keith appeared in a follow-up interview and was asked about his personal life, he didn't deny or defend anything. He just smiled and said, "Life's in session." Simple, detached, yet powerful. Translation, he's accepted it, he's moving on. And Nicole's silence? It's even louder. Her last public words about him were months ago. "He's my deep, deep love." Now, those words sound like an unintentional goodbye. The couple who once shared everything is now saying the most by saying nothing at all. But behind the headlines and heartbreak lies the human side, the part people forget when analyzing celebrity relationships. 19 years together, 2 daughters, countless miles, red carpets, and nights apart. Fame looks glamorous, but distance slowly erodes connection. They beat the odds for almost 2 decades, but even the strongest love can't always outrun time. What they built was real, and now they're quietly protecting what's left, their family. Both are reportedly focused on their daughters, co-parenting privately, keeping the peace away from the spotlight. Nicole was recently spotted at Paris Fashion Week, hand in hand with her girls. No drama, no tears, just calm. A new chapter unfolding. Because sometimes love doesn't end with a fight. It softens, fades, and transforms into gratitude for what once was. The internet exploded when fans realized what was happening. Some praised Keith's quiet honesty, saying it takes maturity to walk away gracefully. Others argued Nicole deserved more clarity, more closure, more respect after standing by him through everything. Comment sections turned into full-blown debates. One fan wrote, "He looked done months ago." Another replied, "Maybe they're protecting their kids." And truthfully, both could be right. The timing only fueled speculation. His interviews, her solo appearances, the talk of separate homes, it all aligned too perfectly. Some even believe the split happened months before the world noticed. Still, the tone surrounding them isn't cruel. It's bittersweet, because for nearly 20 years, Keith and Nicole made people believe in lasting love. And now that belief feels a little cracked. Sometimes love doesn't end with betrayal. It ends with silence. Keith never admitted to anything. He just stopped defending the story. And that's how everyone knew. It was real this time. So what do you think? Was his silence a gesture of respect or regret? Share your thoughts below, because this one has Hollywood divided. This is Spill Society, where Hollywood's fairy tales meet the truth behind the curtain. Behind the curtain.